Hi guys, my name is Anna and I'm into the binary options trading. That's a little bit windy because I'm in Dubai Resort and I'm at the Lamborghini. So guys, if you want to know more, if you want to get more results, profits, knowledges, you can just proceed to my Telegram link, to my Telegram channel where I post 12 signals per day and you can use it and get the same.
Oh, we had it at a risk. When more and more is kind of 50-50. No. Hi guys, here is me, Anna. Of course, we are just right there with the pocket option platform in trading. I'm kind of excited because I think this one is gonna be the nicest. So we're gonna check it out and see what we have in the end. Okay, here we are with the 1 minute interval. Just as all of you know, it's gonna be just 240, not that much, and 15 seconds. If I'm being honest, now I started some new projects. I just started to study, to plan maybe something new and blah, 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 maybe just to be in the more fields and stuff. And but it's so complicated when you just start in, when you go back to the things that you know actually, that you love, that it's going easy for you, you are so grateful. And even if you had some, I don't know, you've been a little bit tired before or exhausted or bored, you actually get in with this, I don't know, gratitude, how to say that. You just got back to all the stuff that you know and love, and you're just like, this is the best thing ever, because studying something new is actually a disaster. So I'm a little bit in a position maybe as all of you guys who just started, who are trying to get into all that stuff and still struggling, and I can relate now. I can truly relate because honestly, I already forgot what is that to be a beginner, what is that to be insecure, what is that to feel like in a complete dump. And that's really hard. And as much as I can, I will try to help. So we going and starting. Let's talk about the strategy after. And okay, just keep all this info, but we go in with the Oscillator, which is the candles indicator, and you can easily and nicely see what that means with this, the size of the candles, the colors. Then we go in with the ADX, one of the best indicators at some point. And when the lines are getting all together and getting crossed, that means that we expect some changing. And when it's getting wide, that means that it's going to be keeping up with the tendency that we already can see and that we already have. And what about the downtrend channel? You can also see, it depends actually of the periods, because sometimes the period is so perfect that we can see all this, changing of the size of the channel really close or just in the same time with all this changes on the chart. Sometimes it doesn't work that perfectly. It's depending on the period, on the actually aims and goals that you have while making all these setups. What about this one? That was the risk, definitely, because we are already at the trend of getting downward, and I think that was somewhere closer to the end. I mean, we had it at a risk. And in most of the cases, I would suggest to go to the upward trend, but I think we were too early for the upward trend and maybe too late for the downward. But I think we may actually go downward. So you've seen that before. We had the green candle before. So it's just like, like a play-in. But with the Oscillator, that was kind of clear. We're going to be getting downward. We have the space. We're not gonna stay at the same chart. Not. 300 is gonna be the bad, so we're already getting higher and higher. And right there, I must say once again, in some cases, when you see kinda high position, that's kinda high regarding to the whole chart, you're just like, okay, that's the peak, that's the highest point, we're gonna get downward. But if you see this Oscillator situation, so we are with the green candles, but we just reached this bar, this ground level. So there's plenty of space to go upward because that's the plan, that's the perfect wave that we do expect. And I must say, ADX lines are still, 3 of them are not getting together. Maybe 2 of them, but it doesn't count. Maybe it's showing us some small fluctuations that we have with the, like, I don't know, orange candles right there. But lines are getting on the distance. And the thing is, when the lines are in the maximum distance, we actually do expect that after that, that's going to be the closing and crossing. But at the moment when I was thinking and making my decision about this, upcoming bat, that it was kind of safe position. So we were once again a little bit risky because we were already upscaling, and going more and more and more is kind of 50-50. But here with this strategy, that was kind of clear that it's going to be just like that. Let's run away. And plus, what about the Oscillator? You can see sometimes the situation is kind of creepy because the candles are switching, changing the colors. There is no logic. It's not at the best situations because, the best one as we had before, when you can see that it's going kind of clear, we're going to be hitting the ground level and then kind of go a little bit and then rise. These waves are the perfect one. And that actually means that the chart is kind of stable and predictable and readable and actually profitable somehow. Of course, there is no guarantees if that's going to be just like that beautiful. Nobody knows what's going to be in a minute because this is not 5 or 10-second bets. But anyway, that's given me more, more safety position to not to expect that it's going to be some break-in. And what about this one? The whole tendency, surprisingly, is to go upward. Because if I'm going to be checking all these candles from the Oscillator, it's kind of like, are we going smaller and downward? Maybe we have some attempt, and yeah, that's the highest point that we've reached, but we were kind of fine with that. And you can see that is the crazy one. It is going upward, but with a little bit of this like a letter that's really going kind of smooth. And right there, ADX, one of the helpers also. I must say, with this combination, Oscillator and ADX, we're going to be a little bit off this downtrend channel because when you have two strongest indicator, they actually get your attention on it. Going to the Microsoft. Oh, look at this. That's the big slide in. So we need to see the biggest tendencies also, 715. ADX lines just get crossed, the green lines of the Oscillator, and I must say even the downtrend channel right there showing us we're getting a little bit wider. That's kind of the same. I don't think that here we can see some perfect combination, but in most of the cases, if downtrend channel getting smaller, so narrow being narrow, we do expect some changing because after that, it started to get wider, and we just do expect some changing. And it's a little bit more tricky, I think, with the downtrend channel than, for example, with the Bollinger Bands. But right there, when you have Oscillator and ADX, I want to say downtrend channel is just so additional, so you don't need to spend much time to analyze it. Plus, I'm not sure about this exact period. It doesn't fit perfectly, I must say. It's getting us a little bit tricky. It's not like, because when you look at that, yeah, backwards, you cannot understand that perfectly also, so it's not that good. That's it. And one more. Okay. Going in, proceeding to the last one. 1,800 already, so we're gonna go with the 100. 1,215. That's a bit. So I'm off my favorite type of situation when we can see the highest point or the lowest point and we go into that changing right there. I don't know why. Almost all of the bets are quite the same, but different, No. So we just like in the middle of it, and with this, actually with this strategy, I think we're kind of safe, because we may see that it's going to be the continuation. And I must say, not every strategy can help us with this type of situation. That's why in many, many cases, I do wait for some break-in, I'm just sitting, waiting, and okay, that's going to be the highest point, so we're going to get downward, because I cannot see perfectly that we're still going to be continuing rising and stuff. Maybe that strategy is kind of perfect for catching this type, kind of rare situation, say. Yes, and almost 3,000. Almost 3,000. That's the nice one. really, really nice one. Maybe you can replace this dungeon challenge with something else, and it's still gonna be the nicest one. And this is it. That was good. I started nice, I finished nice, and maybe that's what I told you actually, because I feel excited. When you are kind of a pro at something, you actually get a lot of the pleasure from it. Sometimes, of course, I have the bad days or the bad traits, but feeling you're like, you know, just have these feelings. I'm okay with that. I am real. I have something in it. Oh, that's the nice one. But that actually comes with experience. That's true. With the negative experience.